Welcome back. I'm Mike, and today I get the pleasure of interviewing Katie, the president of the Theta Tau Educational Foundation. So, Katie, what motivates you to volunteer with the foundation?
I volunteered with the foundation because I volunteered for years with the fraternity, and I wanted to stay involved, but I get to see a different side and do different things. So I really believe in the mission of supporting students and our members and developing future engineering leaders. As a Theta Tau alum myself, I know firsthand the value of educational scholarships and leadership opportunities. I didn't receive a Theta Tau scholarship as a student, but I did receive other scholarships through my university, and know how meaningful that is. And so I want today's students to have those same enriching experiences and opportunities that will help them succeed. So, overall, giving my time to the foundation is a way of paying it forward to everything that Theta Tau gave me.
Thanks for sharing that. So, you mentioned you started out your journey with Theta Tau and volunteering there. When did you first get involved with the fraternity?
So I pledged Theta Tau my sophomore year at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. I was an industrial engineer, and my roommate was also an engineer. We didn't really know each other before that. And I think, like most people, we were looking for free food. So I believe it was an ice cream social that she said she wanted to go to that evening. So we went out to the ice cream social and met a bunch of people. I really thought I was going there for ice cream and nothing else, as I'm sure many of you can relate to. But I ended up meeting really fun, interesting, smart people. So we came back to the next event and came back to the next event, and that's how we both joined. So my roommate and I both joined together, and so came for the food, stayed for the people, like many, and then just really got involved over the years. But that was kind of our first foray into Theta Tau. Never thought I would do anything like that. That definitely wasn't on my list.
Nice. So, what kind of leadership roles did you take on when you were a student member of Theta Tau?
As a student, I was right after I pledged, I was a pledge trainer at that time, or like education, membership education. And then I had a couple of roles more like in the historian standpoint and things like that. And then more as an officer, I was a scribe and then also regent for our chapter. It was really awesome. It was really rewarding to learn a lot of things and be able to like run a small organization where I already had a bunch of friends. I have this distinct memory of being in the chapter room where we were going around and kind of just sharing it at the end of the meeting. And there was another brother who was having a hard time with something and emotional about it. And I kind of came away with this thing of like, this is an educational thing, right? Like it's a professional organization, but yet we're supporting this individual really personally with some things that had been going on. And we, get to study with these people and we get to learn so much and we get to have friendships. And so just the dynamic of all of these things at the same time, I was like, there are people that know you as close as your family. There are people that understand you as well as your peers or other students. And they're people you get to practice leadership with that you might not get in a lot of other areas. So it was really this cool dynamic that I really enjoyed. So I learned a lot about teamwork. I learned a lot about communication and event planning and everything else you need to know during those roles.
Okay, that's great to hear about your leadership and joining the fraternity for free food and then staying for the people. I really like that quote. So after you graduated, did you take on any leadership? You did you take on leadership roles within the fraternity, and then obviously now you're with the Educational Foundation. So can you talk about the leadership roles after graduation that you took?
Sure, sure, yeah. A little bit of a similar story to things that you've shared is I attended my first national convention just not as an alternate or delegate, just to go for fun when I was still a student member and had a great time. And then I went back, same thing, my last year or towards my last semester, just for fun to see people and get to know others. But the people I was meeting were really interesting. And we decided we were going to come back because it was the 2004, celebration after 100 years. And so we went back in 2004 and attended just for fun as an alumni, and we're having a really good time. And then I think it was actually yourself that reached out, similar, and tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Hey, I've seen you around. Would you be interested in being a regional director?" And so that started my relationship with kind of volunteering as an alumni. So I was a regional director for what was then the Central Region, so Wisconsin, Minnesota, Iowa area. And I did that with one of my really good friends and brothers from Xi chapter, Janine. And we had a great time being regional directors. We did that, and then moved up into the EC. I was a Grand Interguard, and then I moved to Grand Scribe. At that time, I stepped away a little bit, and thought I needed some more time, but actually came back and started volunteering with the National Alumni Association, and did some activities there. Similarly, I did it for a little while, kind of stepped back and did some things with family, and got tapped again, to say, hey, the Educational Foundation, could use some other people, and are you interested in it? And so that's what brought me back. So I've been with the Educational Foundation now for about 4 years, I believe, and I've been serving on the board there. So for me, it's very much of staying close, seeing people that I really enjoy being around, and the purpose and the people that we're serving, but also it takes that tap, that little bit of encouragement to say, we need you, we want your skills, to come back in, and that's been really meaningful to me.
Yeah. So how has your board service with the Educational Foundation and the EC impacted you? And were there other boards that you served on besides these?
Yeah. So primarily, I've served, as a national officer on the EC, and now, I said Alumni Club and Educational Foundation. But in addition, a few years ago, I also served as a nonprofit board member for my children's daycare center. It was a nonprofit. And so it was interesting, as I was coming back into the Educational Foundation, I was also doing this daycare board, and lots of similarities, obviously lots of differences. Students, children students, adult students, and that wasn't really the similarity, but it was the whole operations part. So I'm an industrial engineer. I love process. I love operations. That part really interests me. I came from manufacturing background as well. But when you really start to see that the things you get to do, sometimes they're not the most glamorous, but it's the operational things that you do, and so you are keeping things running, keeping the lights on, doing basic things that need to be done for these organizations. But you're making an impact on the people that are there, whether they're employed there or they're benefactors of it. Um, it is both a very rewarding and a very challenging role. I have a little sticker here, a laptop sticker from some other group at work, and it says "Do hard things," and so I keep it here. This one specifically was for the daycare, so I looked at this very often. I was the president of the daycare board when COVID hit, and so we had to make
Hmm.
decisions on, do we shut down? Do we shut down tomorrow? Do we shut down the next day? And if we shut down, what are parents going to do with their children because they still have to work? And if we shut down, how are we going to pay the people who, take care of our children every day, and pay them fairly? And if we pay them, we need money. So we need to ask for tuition, even though they're not getting to use it. And so tons and tons of really difficult, challenging, hard decisions that impacted people in a big way. I will say that the fraternity, at least the experiences I've had, haven't been as challenging, but there's still lots of things there where you work on these different operational things and you're making decisions on behalf of other people. So the way it's impacted me, or why I usually recommend people to go and volunteer with nonprofits, is you get a lot of different experiences, and they might not be ones that you would ever expect to get. But every experience is a ton of learning, and every experience is just uh, new things that you will take with you. So I learned a lot of things on the daycare board that I was able to
Yeah.
apply to the Educational Foundation. Sounds silly, but it's really true in terms of running meetings, looking at budgets, just how to do all of these different things about how to be a good steward for money and things like that. So I would say you might go in with one idea and come out with a different experience, but it's really impacted me in terms of understanding how to operate a business or an organization.
Very nice. Very nice. So what's your favorite part of volunteering for the Educational Foundation?
My favorite part, I think most recently that's really stuck out to me is reviewing scholarship applications. So we do the scholarships once a year. And so getting to read the applications is super fun and super inspiring. You get to read why people joined Theta Tau, why people were interested in engineering, and both of those have personal touches to them that I find really moving and interesting. And then, we talk about how people have been involved, and you get to see all the different things that they did, different individuals did in their chapters, leadership roles that they served, and reminds us of, stuff that I've done as well, or things that maybe I didn't do that are just so much better now as they continue to grow and grow different things and programming that they're doing. And then the other one too is like what's in the future, right? Like what do you plan to do after graduation? And so the things that students are saying that they want to do after graduation, I feel like their scholarship applications are far beyond what I would have written at their age when I was a student, just talking about the changes they want to make in the world, the impact that they want to make, their reason why behind things. So it's just really inspiring. There's a lot of bright futures out there, and I'm just really constantly inspired by the potential of these students. And those are just the ones that applied, and I'm sure that's even grander for other students out there as well. So that part about volunteering is really fun because you just get to like see that, you get to see it, and then you get to know that you're helping support it.
Yeah, I'm always amazed at the scholarship applications and everything that they're doing. I'm like, how do they sleep? It's amazing
Yeah,
what some of these people are doing every day,
yeah.
just it's like schoolwork and volunteering and leading, their chapter. So it's a I'm baffled at how these students
Mhm.
do it, but it's great. It's great that they are. Uh, so what's your favorite Theta Tau memory? This is a question I like to ask people, even though I don't think I have an answer, but what's your favorite Theta Tau memory?
Yeah, so that is a very tough question. As I was thinking about that, I have a couple things, and so I would say maybe a couple themes. First one, right, first convention, driving from Wisconsin to Arizona, lots of fun memories and stories, kind of just in driving there and getting there, and once again making new friendships and meeting new people there. That was a really good Theta Tau memory that always sticks out to me. But a lot of it in the theme is really just that continuum of seeing friends. So once again, realization made of, I'm seeing these people for I'm probably interacting with them for less than 48 hours over the course of a weekend, and then I don't see them for another year or two, and I interact with them for another 48 hours or something like that. And so you get to this point where you're like, I'm going to visit people that I've only known for probably 4 days of my life, but they're my great friends. You go on vacation, you fly out somewhere, and you get to hang out with these people that you barely know, but you know so well. And so it's just that continuum every year of going to conventions or leadership academies. Those are really good memories because it's hard to explain to somebody who doesn't know, but to say, I'm going to go hang out with these people that I barely know, but it's going to be amazing. So those are ones that definitely stand out for me. In terms of maybe it's not a memory, but I'd say one of my favorite just overall experiences is I would call it like a friend text group. So there's a couple of female industrial engineers from Xi chapter, and we have a text chain, and we talk all the time. And we help each other. We problem solve. We're industrial engineers. We're problem solving all the time. We're problem solving for family stuff and kid stuff. We're problem solving for our jobs. We're problem solving on what formula to use in Excel. Like, no kidding. We're constantly problem solving with each other. And so I don't know. That's just something that is like really meaningful to me that we get to hang out. And maybe we would have been friends if we were just industrial engineers together. But the fact that we have that fraternity bond makes that stand out. And so we continue to stay involved on a frequency, even though we graduated 20 years ago. And we're talking about Excel formulas and, where to take your kids and things to do and just sharing fun experiences. Even though we don't see each other that often, that's something that I definitely treasure.
Yeah, it's great to have that group of friends that you can just have that communication and talk through things. So, and it's great to see that you've stayed so involved as an alum since you graduated and are still very involved in leading the Educational Foundation. Thank you for sharing your story with us today, Katie. We really appreciate it, and we appreciate you and everyone on the board and all of our volunteers. So, thank you so much for sharing today.